I'm Bob Charlton. I'm a partner in DLA Piper's finance and projects practice across Europe, the Middle East and Africa. We think it's the right time to take a look at the European banking sector. We at DLA Piper spend a considerable amount of our time working with and advising financial institutions across Europe, and that gives us a unique position and vantage point to comment on the continental banking model. In terms of what we were trying to achieve, there's been a lot of material and research done on the history, the causes of the crash. But what we want to do is look forward and learn from the lessons and apply them to businesses looking forward. Finally, we know there has been a lot of talk about the similarities and the differences between the so-called Anglo-Saxon banking model and the so-called continental banking model. But we wanted to get behind that, to get some nitty and to see what lessons there are to apply to the future of banking in Europe. The conclusions from the piece are, to my mind, in particular, fourfold. Firstly, we've learned that the term continental banking model is one that we should be very cautious about using, because the continental banking systems are themselves fairly diverse, and while there are some common themes, there are a number of differences. Secondly, while it was clear that before the financial crisis there was a divergence between these two models, those boundaries were blurring around 2007. And what the crisis has demonstrated, as we've looked at it in the context of this initiative, is that there are a number of strengths in the continental banking model. In particular, we would look at governance, culture, and management horizons. Thirdly, the executives with whom we've spent time have made it very clear to us that they see a clear need to rebalance the systems, as opposed to any feeling that we may be going to return to business as usual. And then finally, in terms of the common message across both the Anglo-Saxon and continental models, it's very clear to us from our initiative that insufficient time was being spent to those important long-term client relationships in the time before the crisis, but rather more time on short-term objectives. And all the bankers that we've spoken to clearly recognise that they must expend more energy on cultivating and developing these key long-term client relationships. We're launching our report today. We're very proud of that, and more details of the report are available on our website. We'd obviously like to encourage everyone to read more about it. And indeed, we've already started spending time with key members of important institutions on a one-to-one basis to examine the implications of all of this on their businesses, looking forward, looking into the future. So if anybody would like to know more about this, please do get in touch, and we'd be very pleased to spend some time with them.